Magabanan, folks. Today we have a special in special functions, and today's integral is brought to you by my good friend, the Earl of Dane, who helped me solve this thing. Who is this Earl? Is that even a real name or title? Where is Dane? Is that even a real place? How did he get into my house? And why did he get into my house just for the purpose of solving an integral? I don't know. And personally, I just don't care. I mean, look at this thing. We are dealing with the integral from 0 to 2 pi of log of absolute value of gamma of e to the I theta times zeta of e to the I theta d theta. You have the gamma function, you have the Riemann zeta function, and you have e to the I theta. What more could you ask for? And full disclaimer, I'm going to be walking a really tight rope with this one. It's clearly an improper integral, and I'm going to treat it that way. But the important thing is that this is cool. And before you have any such objections, I will say there is no prize to perfection, only an end to pursuit. I am just aura farming at this point. Let's actually get started with this. So we have log of absolute value of gamma function times zeta function. And the thing is that because we're dealing with absolute values, I can expand by 1 in a really nice way. Specifically, I'm talking about the absolute value of e to the I theta, theta being a real number. This gives an absolute value equal to 1. So that means I could just write this as integral 0 to 2 pi log gamma absolute value gamma e to the I theta times e to the I theta times zeta of, I'm just going to move this collaboration somewhere up in the corner, zeta of e to the I theta d theta. So we have gamma z times z, which we know equals gamma z plus 1. So this means we have the integral from 0 to 2 pi of log absolute value gamma of, sorry about that, 1 plus e to the I theta times zeta e to the I theta d theta. Okay, cool. And what I'd now like to do is introduce a substitution. We're going to let e to the I theta here equal to z, which implies that I times e to the I theta d theta equals dz. But this further implies that d theta is equal to dz over I times e to the I theta. And e to the I theta is just z, so we have d theta equal to dz over iz. And what this transformation is for theta in the interval from 0 to 2 pi, this is just the unit circle. So that means we've now transformed this into a contour integral. So this implies that I here is now 1 over I, and 1 over I is of course negative I. I never get tired of how cool that fact is. Integral over absolute value z equal to 1, log absolute value gamma 1 plus z times zeta of z over z dz. And yes, I know, walking really tight, I'm really doing a tightrope walk over here. Walking a really tightrope. I don't even think that's an expression, but walking a tightrope is, I guess. Again, math is a lot easier than English. I'll write this as negative I times the limit as r tends to 1 from the left of the integral over absolute value of z equal to r of log absolute value gamma of 1 plus z times zeta of z over z dz. So because this is a contour integral, we're going to solve it using Cauchy's residue theorem. So here is the complex plane. And my contour is going to be the keyhole contour. So I have this little circle around that nasty pole at z equal to 0. Then I have a couple of straight lines here parallel to the z-axis, the real axis, that is. The real axis, that is. Again, math is a lot easier than talking. Then I have this outer circle of radius, mind you, less than 1. It's where my buddy, the Earl's idea, really shines. So here we go. That is not the most appetizing drawing, but then again, I'm supposed to be a math nerd, not an artist. So again, the radius here is r, and the radius of the smaller circle is going to be epsilon. And we're going to call the contour C. This little circle is gamma. This little line here is psi sub 1, this is psi sub 2, and the outer circle is uppercase gamma. And we are interested in the limiting case of epsilon going to 0. Oh, and of course we traverse this in the counterclockwise sense. Okay, cool. That is interesting. Now, because the function is nice and holomorphic within this domain, so the integral over the contour C is equal to 0. But this integral can be broken down into several smaller integrals, and that is to say, terribly sorry about that, the integral over gamma plus the integral over lowercase gamma plus the integral over psi sub 1 plus the integral over psi sub 2. So all of that does equal 0, but now we must evaluate all of these integrals one by one. Now, the good news is that we can recover our target integral quite easily. The limit of the integral over gamma as epsilon approaches 0, now if you just shrink epsilon down to 0, then this turns into the integral over the circle absolute value z equal to r, which is close to our target integral. It's just missing a factor of negative I, but we'll deal with that later. And the integrals over the lines are actually very easy to deal with as well. Because we have f of z here defined as log of absolute value gamma 1 plus z times zeta of z over z, notice that the numerator is just the real valued logarithm, and the denominator is z to the 1, which has a phase factor equal to exactly 1. So in other words, as epsilon tends to 0, and you bring these two straight lines in towards each other, they become exactly the same line, but traversed in opposite directions. So this means that the integrals over psi sub 1 and psi sub 2 both cancel out quite nicely. Okay, cool. Now, what about the integral over lowercase gamma? So the integral over lowercase gamma of log of absolute value gamma 1 plus z times zeta z over z dz can be parameterized quite nicely. Notice here that z can be parameterized as epsilon times e to the I theta, where theta goes from 0 to 2 pi. So that means this thing, which I should probably shrink down a little bit, equals the integral from 2 pi to 0 actually, because notice that we are traversing the circle in the clockwise sense. So integral 2 pi to 0 of log of absolute value gamma 1 plus epsilon e to the I theta. And I probably should just take this down here instead, times zeta of epsilon e to the I theta over z, which is epsilon e to the I theta. And if z here equals epsilon e to the I theta on differentiation, we should get a factor of I. Epsilon is a constant, e to the I theta, d theta. Okay. But what about the limit of the integral over gamma as epsilon tends to 0? That's, after all, what we're interested in. So that would be negative of, I'll just apply the limit directly, and the negative sign is because I'm switching up the limits of integration, so that introduces a negative sign. We do have some cancellation here, first up, negative I outside. And now we have log of absolute value gamma of 1 plus 0, so that's gamma 1. And then we have zeta of 0, d theta. So the integrand is now just a constant, and that means we have negative I times this constant. Now, gamma 1 is just 0 factorial, which is 1. And zeta 0 is negative 1/2. So we have the log of absolute value, negative 1/2. And the integral just sorts out to 2 pi. So this implies that the limit of the integral over lowercase gamma as epsilon tends to 0 equals negative 2 pi I times log of 1/2. But wait a minute, log of 1/2 is negative log 2 anyway. Oh, I forgot the I terribly. Sorry about that. So we have a log 2 over here. So that is the integral over lowercase gamma. Okay, full recap. This integral crashed down to 0 because of the residue theorem. These two canceled out. So we have 0 equal to the integral over gamma converges to the integral over absolute value of z equal to r. And then we have the integral over lowercase gamma being 2 pi I log 2. In other words, the integral over absolute value z equal to r equals negative 2 pi I log 2. But now to get the target integral, we'll expand by negative I. Terribly sorry about that. Much better. So that means we have the target integral equal to negative 2 pi I squared log 2. I squared is negative 1. And you have two negatives now, so this implies that the limit, as r tends to 1 from the left, of negative I times the integral over absolute value of z equal to r of log absolute value gamma 1 plus e to the I theta times zeta e to the I theta over, wait a second, I'm writing this in the wrong way, mixing things up. It's over z over here, dz quite nicely equals 2 pi I times log 2. That was cool. Math for fun, as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Drop me a follow on Instagram as well. Thank you. See you next time.